Rahubat and welcome to OSM Vision, where you can send us your 3 questions for us to answer for you. You can do this by filming yourself, just using your mobile phone. And once you've done that, filming yourself asking 3 questions, you can upload them to osmvision.wetransfer.com, and then we will be able to answer your questions for you. So thank you for all the people that are sending in their questions. Thanks for sending in your question, and let's go straight into today's 3 questions.
Shalom to the bloodline. Much love and respect to you. Love everything you've been doing. Appreciate you. And I'm sending big energy to you and yours. All right, my first question would be, I heard Credo Mutwa in the Dogon tribe speak of the beings of the water. And I also heard you speak of a place called Egg Island. Are we connected to those beings of the water? And could you break down Egg Island? Second question, they say our first.
All right, so let's address the first question. So the brothers are asking about, the Dogon who speak about beings coming to them, and these beings were referred to as, well, the first being is referred to as Nomo, N-O-M-O, and in plural they're referred to as the Nomos, who, they explain that they came from the waters. And we've also explained many times that even without us explaining it, life, where there's water, there's life. So this is why even NASA and most people, the first thing they look for signs of life is water, right? So yes, when we're talking about the Egg Island, this is where the beings that came to this planet originally first, right? They were in the waters, because the dolphin, right, which is a Vulcan being, was the one that was injected with the formula or the cells to come and germinate the waters to bring about our type of humanoid being. Now, there were other beings, like when we say being or when we say life, a lot of the times we only think about life in our form. That's why I mentioned water, because bacteria is actually life. There are bacteria that are far more intelligent than human. This is why they can outsmart humans. Things like cancers and many diseases that we suffer from. These are bacteria that actually live in your body, and they can coexist with you for thousands of years without you even knowing they're there or even having an effect on you. But when you mix things that aggravate them, so for example, when you start to put metals into your body, and these metals, by way of ions or microwaves or certain frequencies, will start to attack your cells. Yeah, even when we're talking about what people refer to as AIDS, that is dealing with your immune system. Once your immune system is attacked, it can be very difficult for you, because you're dealing with parasites and beings that actually live within you. So going back to the question, yes, beings came originally from the waters onto land, from the Egg Island, which today, you can look at water in many forms, right, on the planet. So you have the seas, the oceans, but you also have the ice. If you go to Antarctica and go to, there are places where you still have a lot of ice. And then of course we breathe water as air. So water constantly exists in the 3 forms, i.e., solid, liquid, and gas. So there are life forms that live in the ice, live in the waters, and a lot of the extraterrestrial beings that came to this planet millions and millions of years ago settled in what you're calling the Antarctic, and also, where you're calling Egg Island. And then they came out, and then they actually, remember also that before what you're calling the continental drift, the landmass was one. So beings went in different directions from one central place, and then with the continental drift, they kind of got moved away from the others. And so, yes, so that is what we're referring to, the germination of the planet with the beings from from Vulcan, or the Vulcan beings known as the dolphins, and then we evolved from that, came onto land. Yeah, so that's actually where the Dogon, the Egyptians, basically many ancient cultures talk about coming out of the waters. Yeah, so that's on point. All right, let's hear the second question. Was there let me just rewind that a little,
Father is the dragon.
just make sure that I covered everything on that
All right,
question.
my first question would be, I heard Credo Mutwa in the Dogon tribe speak of the beings of the water. And I also heard you speak of a place called Egg Island. Are we connected to those beings of the water? And could you break down Egg Island?
Right.
Second question, they say our first father is the dragon. And I'm guessing that'd be the reptilian. So are we connected to the reptilians in any way?
Okay, so the question two again ties in. The problem is that a lot of people, when they think or hear the word reptilian, they automatically associate it with a particular species of reptilians, which is just one species. There are so many, literally hundreds of species, and more new ones every day, because different mixtures are taking place daily and producing hybrids. When we say reptilian, we're dealing with the fact that we are also tied into the genetics of those reptilians, because we came out of water. You have beings that are both water and land beings. Like, if you look at the word Taweret, which is when you look at the Dendera in ancient Egypt, which is the map where you see beings around it, but if you look at the center, you have a hippo, or hippopotamus, as they refer to it. That is a being known as Taweret in ancient Egypt. This is where the word Torah, or the Torah in terms of the 5 books of Moses, come from. And that's dealing with the beginning in Genesis as well, when he's talking about water and the planet being only water formed. So yes, we do tie into the reptilian seed, because we are mixed in with them. And the different types of reptilians, the ones that people are afraid of, that are more kind of lizard looking, again, all of this information has been explained in the holy tablets and in many scrolls that the master teacher Pan the Babylonian has published, talking about the different species of reptilians. And then you have hybrids, where reptilians of the ones that we've said, the lizard looking type, have mixed in with humans. So we still have scales, we still drink water, we still have to submerge ourselves in water, we still have to have a bath or a shower every day. We like to be near the beach. We're breathing in oxygen, which is a form of water. The whole planet is covered with hydrogen, which is dealing with hydro, deals with water. So yeah, we are reptilians in that sense, but we also tied into our evolution by other beings mixing in with us. So original, makeup is from the Parnatharu, the DNA that we have. And in the waters, we mixed with different beings, as you mentioned, sirens, and they call these mermaids and mermen. And the underwater cities still have many cultures and civilizations. Even Enki terraformed the earth, and they talk about, the cities under the water. You can look at the Admiral Byrd story as well. So yes, we do tie into the reptilian, but the part of us which is the Natharu. So this is where the concept of God and the devil comes from, because the DNA part of you, that's the Natharu, is what you call the God side. Then the reptilian side is the mixture from these reptilian beings. Even when you look at Anu, Anu had a draconian wife known as Id. Yeah, so we are tied into that, because you have Enki, who went to Africa and took wives and mixed in. So on the planet today, you got different people, different species that are not all from the same bloodline. So you do have those who lean to the Anunnaki, you have those who lean more to the Parnatharu. The reptilian side of you is where you get your reptilian brain, because when you look at how you start off as a tadpole or a sperm that looks like a tadpole. You have a big head with a small tail. That's what you grow up into, and that big head becomes your brain, and then your spinal column going down is the tail. And some people still have a coccyx which comes out, you know, of their, you know, the lower part of their back. So we do have the both natures. It's just that when you lean too much to your reptilian side, the reptilian side is more aggressive. This is why it needs to be fed blood meat. It needs to be angry. It has all that negative side, whereas the Parnatharu side is calm. You know, they like vegetation. They didn't really eat meat. They were very peaceful and in tune with nature. So you have both natures within you. Is you have to let one side dominate. You need both sides, but which one dominates in you, in your actions every day and so forth. Okay, so yeah, we are definitely tied into that. Let's keep going to the next question.
Third question will be, often see these colors on flags: black, red, green, and yellow. Is there any meaning to those colors? And another set of colors will be blue, red, and yellow. Those are my three questions. Appreciate you in advance. Thank you, and salute.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate of you too. So the third question is dealing with colors and the significance of the colors. When you look at colors, you have to remember that sound came first, and the sound then produces light. And light can be interchangeable with sound. So when you go back to like the original beginning, in fact, we said the beginning, but there's so many beginnings because beginnings really are dealing with explosions of suns and how solar systems are formed. So when you go back to the original, you know, like when we talk about Sirius C, the brother was asking a question about the Dogons who were connected to Sirius B and Sirius A, and they mapped it out before, you know, modern day scientists had the apparatus to even map it out. So they were in contact or in, you know, in connection with those beings from there. But the original tri-solar system of what we're speaking about when we talk about planet Risk or even the belt of Orion, these are those colors, because the sound that echoes from the big, what they call the Big Bang, produce a sound, and that sound is still going on till today. Most people know it as the Ohm sound, which is that from the original bang, and people can tune into that when they try to tune into nature. However, light also came from that because, you know, we say that light travels, you have the speed of light, but no matter how fast it travels, it's still within the darkness. So the original three suns were referred to, it depends on what culture you're coming from. If you're coming from the Sumerian, because the biblical books come from the Sumerian doctrine, you have Utu, Shamash, and Apsu. This is what the sons were referred to. But those sons originally come from the three sons of Risk. And this is where you get, as you said, the red, the yellow, and the blue, which are referred to as primary colors. Now, when you start to talk about other colors, you're taking darkness, which forms light, and if you put it through a prism, you then separate it where you can see the different colors, like the colors of the rainbow. And you see that you go from what they call, people say purple, but it's really violet before the darkness. So you're coming backwards from the darkness to the violet, coming down to the colors. The color, the primary colors, which related to these three suns, and even the positions of in ancient Egypt when we talked about the three suns being Atum, Atun, and Amun. Yeah, they represent those three colors. Okay, where you have the, you know, the red, the yellow, and the blue, and then the one that most don't talk about is the black or the darkness, which is the fourth point. And if you read the Patarak, the flood, it talks about these 4 points, which give you the science of the tetrahedron as well. But that's another topic, because you have like a triangle, but the center is the fourth, which can go in and out, as in pulsating in different directions. So everything has the duality where it expands and then it implodes or explodes, either way, right? So yeah, those three colors come from that. Now, when you start to look at other colors, like the green, for example, the green will be a mixture of what? Two colors, yellow and blue, right? So that's a glitch color, which is dealing with a particular vibration, a particular frequency, which is what nature's mainly composed of. When you look at nature, it's mostly green, the vegetation, the trees, etc. And it's a healing force, and it's a color that, you know, we tap into as divine beings, because we were actually originally green before we started to rust. But yes, so when you're talking about the flag, in fact, on the back of our scrolls, you see the flag right there, right? Which a lot of people think it comes from, you know, the Rastafarian colors of red, gold, and green. But as you can see, that flag actually comes from basically the Mahdi, yeah, of Sudan, which got coined into where Marcus Garvey got the flag from, and then it ended up into, as we said, people are using the Rastafarian colors now. But the red represents our blood as a people. The black represents us as the people, and the green represents, as I said, living life, nature. The yellow represents the sun, because again, we are people of the sun, and it ties into the elements that we recognize in ancient Egypt. So we gave reverence to the sun, or respect to the sun, because we know that without the sun, the solar system really can collapse, and there won't be any life on the planet without the sun, which sustains us and gives us life. We say the sun, but there are millions and billions of suns known as stars. But yeah, so that's how the colors tie in. Last point I'll make, a lot of people don't take the time to really look at the covers of the books and the symbols, and, you know, what do they mean, what do they represent. And in Wu-Sabat, you know, they say a picture can tell 1,000 words. So before you even start to read the words, you should really study the symbolism. You see, we have, you know, the red again there, and the yellow, and the black, and the gold. So yeah, it's very important that colors play a major part in our story. All right, I hope that's helped, and we look forward to getting more questions. And if you have questions, 3 questions, some people, we say 3 and they still send 2 or 1 question. So 3 questions which you can upload to osmvision.wetransfer.com. Until next time, I'm Saken, Wadu Ashok.